Alright guys, thanks for stopping by Moodog's Frugal RCs and more. Today we're going to be looking at an inexpensive way to get into FPV on either your RC car or your RC quadcopter, whichever way. Today I'm going to be showing it off on a recent RC purchase that I made. This is the GPTOYS S915. This is a two-wheel drive, entry-level hobby grade car. And I want to show you the setup that I'm using for the FPV. Pretty simple stuff, guys. Stay tuned and I'll show it all to you in just a second. Alright guys, anyone that knows me knows I love modifying my RC quadcopters and RC cars to make them better, to make them run better, that type of thing. Now this is no exception. What I've done to this car so far, I'm going to show you right now, and then we'll get on to the FPV portion of this. But what I've done to this so far is I've actually went ahead and swapped out the stock battery for a Lipo. Now this is a 7.4 volt 1200 milliamp hour Lipo, and it has a JST connector on it. The batteries for this car, for the stock batteries, are hard to find and they're kind of expensive. So my thought was to try to get the most drive time out of this car and still keep the voltage true to what it's spec'd as. I don't want to burn out any motors prematurely. So I stayed with a 7.4, but I went with like over twice the capacity of the stock 7.4 volt 500 milliamp hour lithium ion. This is a Lipo. I'm noticing it's giving me a little bit more punch and a little bit more speed and a heck of a lot more drive time. So that's kind of a bonus right there. Now, being this is a Lipo battery, it's not going to give me an indication on when the power is getting low. And you don't want to drain these all the way down. You could run the risk of starting them on fire and actually depleting the efficacy of the battery. In other words, they're not going to last you quite as long. So what I've done here is I've rigged up an alarm on here by using just a simple Lipo battery checker, and I'm going to show you that next. So stay tuned. So basically what I've done here, guys, is I've installed just a simple Lipo battery checker, and this has a built-in alarm on it as well. So you can set a pre-designated voltage. So when that battery depletes to that particular voltage, an alarm will go off, and you know it's time to stop your car, so you're not overstressing your battery. And that's just simply running off the balance plug that comes off the battery, and this will get plugged in right here. And I'll try to do this with one hand here to show you guys. This will get plugged in. There we go. So now it's not only going to tell me the voltage of the battery right now, it tells me both cell voltage, but when that battery gets down to about 3.6 volts on each cell, an alarm will sound and I'll know to stop the car and change out the battery, give it a break, and then change out the battery. So that I've just got on here with some Velcro up on top, and I got the battery wound in, and the balance plug right through the top here. It fits through nicely. So that's how that works. Okay guys, pretty simple FPV setup here. What I'm using here is an AKK branded all-in-one camera. I have that mounted on top of the canopy with Velcro again, hot glued to a pad, and then the pad has Velcro underneath, so I can take it off and put it on different vehicles, either my quadcopters or other cars, set up the same way. And then I've got for power source in the back, I have a 3.7 volt 400, I believe this is a 400, it might be a little bit higher than that, 3.7 volt. This is a 240 milliamp hour per hour battery. I could run a little bit bigger cell on here, but I don't think there's really a need to. This cell lasts me about a half hour of FPV, and it seems to be working out pretty good. Now this might be a temporary setup as far as where I'm going to mount this. I'm trying to find the best spot on here that's not going to cause a whole lot of vibration, but this car is pretty low to the ground and it does vibrate a lot once it's rolling. I did have it mounted on the spoiler earlier, and that was really kind of shaky, and I almost lost the camera on a couple occasions. But I'll show you a video of that footage when I had it on the spoiler, and then I'm going to show you footage also of it mounted up on top of the canopy as it is right now. So let's go ahead and get this thing plugged in, get the camera lit up, and I'll show you my receiver and my monitor. Alright guys, here's the receiver and the monitor that I'm using for this. Now the receiver is nothing more than an LG cell phone that I had lying around. Now you have to use a phone for this setup that is OTG, in other words on the go compatible. It has to be able to receive files from like a flash drive or something like that. So you have to be able to pull information from other sources, FPV, or not FPV, but USB sources. So you see the receiver on the back here, and it's connected via a USB, micro USB to micro USB into the side here, and then that runs off an app called FPV Go. You can record from that as well as monitor. You also have the option of going split screen and inserting these in some goggles. And I've got this mounted on my Exit tripod, 50-inch tripod. I do have a video up for this on my channel for the tripod itself. If you guys want to check that out, I will put a link in the description if you guys want to look at that. But that's pretty much it for the monitor. The car is ready to go. You can see that we do have power to the camera, so that's pretty much ready to go. We're going to send it down this way. And let's go ahead and get that FPV started, and I'll roll in some footage shortly, guys.